Hello guys, this is Too Bright for Me, back at it again with another video. So, I got Mega Man 11, the game I was really excited for, and they finished it in like almost 4 days.
It's quite an achievement.
Then later, the same month, the month was October, I began watching Mega Man Fully Charged and finished it.
What's Mega Man Fully Charged for those of us
Mega
who
Man
don't
Fully
know?
Charged is a cartoon series with an American, Canadian, Japanese cartoon.
Oh.
So it technically counts as anime. Based on the Mega Man games.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
It's not supposed to be taking place in the main canon. It's in an alternate universe, I think.
Okay.
Because the main characters have different names than the main characters of Mega Man.
Oh.
Instead of Rock and Roll, there's Acolyte and Sunalite.
Interesting.
But Dr. Light is still there, and many of the more familiar masters like Elecman, Fireman, Iceman, Gutsman, and Bombman. Actually, Bombman isn't in here.
Okay.
But Cutman will be.
Oh. And you saw almost the whole season.
Yeah, so the site that had the episodes only had like 20 up until the Lightfall Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay.
Which I think is fitting.
Okay.
So, what did I think of Mega Man Fully Charged? We'll find out later. Now let's talk about Mega Man 11 because I personally have been waiting for this game for nearly the whole year.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be pretty good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Starting off with the story. Now the story doesn't seem like much. I mean, again, Dr. Wily steals the robots.
Like every Mega Man. The same premise as other
Yeah.
Mega Man games. Okay.
And so now Mega Man must go and stop them. However, as with every Mega Man game, there's a bit of a twist this time.
Oh.
We delve into Wily's past. And we delve into Dr. Light and Wily's past. And I actually like that because then we get to know these characters more and why they're evil.
Their motives.
Yeah. And I do like that they made Wily into a more, I don't know. I actually kind of resonate with Wily.
Okay.
So he believes that if robots don't have greater power than humans, then humans won't be in peace with the robots. They won't accept who they truly are.
Interesting.
And I agree with that because robots are supposed to be like an advanced new type of humans. And without special capabilities of some sorts, they'll just be regular humans.
Okay. Interesting.
And since there aren't many cutscenes, we'll just jump straight into the finale. I'll give you some spoilers. Sorry.
Spoilers. Watch it. Spoilers.
Now, in the end, Dr. Light says something like, Mega. It gives off the message that when done well, technology can be used to make great things, which is a good message.
It is.
But still, Dr. Light being always in the right feels kind of cliche at this point, especially since he's the one who stole Wily's double gear system. So that kind of like ruins the whole ending.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the story doesn't have any good elements. Like, for example, the characters. Sure, they're not strong characters, but the voice actors help, but they don't need to be. And the voice actors gave them succinct personalities.
Yes.
All of which are fun and enjoyable. And I can see the personalities tying in with the characters.
Give us one example.
Like, for example, Tundraman is a flashy stage performer, and I think this best represents him.
Yes.
And I think it really fits considering his very long ice hair and his skiing abilities.
Yeah.
And also the fact that he dances throughout battle.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I probably have an issue with would be the only one that might be slightly lacking would be Bounce Man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that Bonnie Bell G tried to make the character have a more childlike voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits because he loves playing around and stomping things and punching things. Again, like a small child. But I think the eccentric but still low-pitched voice would have fit the character better. Like this. Yuck.
A goofy voice.
Yeah, goofier voice.
Okay.
Then there's also the atmosphere. Like, as with the 3D stages, they really do give you a sense of the scope. Like, for example, Blockman's stage with all the with the architecture of the temple, which is first of all which is beautiful to look at, and it also really looks like a temple.
Yeah. Yeah, the scenery is wonderful.
Then there's outside of Fuseman's stage, which is lightning and thunder, which fits him very nicely.
Yeah.
Bounce Man's more childlike arena.
Mm-hmm. Which also has its charm.
Perks. Yeah. And the burning forest that is Torture Man's stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, each of the 3D atmosphere really helps give the game a better sense of scope. Speaking of the atmosphere, let's talk about the animation because it's really good. Like, for example, the designs are cartoony, but not too rubbery so that it hurts to look at, and with a fair amount of detail as well. Like for example, Acid Man is one. Acid Man is one example, with all the small little things around him. And Fuse Man is another, with bright, lively colors and some nice textures. Then there are the effects, which are also very well done, featuring that somewhat mystical effect, but not looking too cheap.
Okay.
The backgrounds, I've already mentioned how good the backgrounds are. But another really good thing is that the game is full of detail.
Yeah.
Like, to show you an example, look at how Acid Man bounces out of the water. Jumps out of the water. I've slowed it down so that you can notice.
Okay.
Do you see all the water flowing?
It's awesome.
The colors, man, the colors are also very lively.
Very lively.
And the robots all move in a sense that fits their personality and isn't too jarring.
Yeah, it's very high quality.
And now on to the gameplay. You see, it's been hard doing reviews of like these Mega Man games because I can't really pin scores for the gameplay because then I'd have to put them all the RoboMaster quality like together. But luckily, I've been managed to dissect them into 3 certain groups. The A one, which is Bounce Man, because his design is pretty bad, but his stage is fun. And then there's his fight, which is kind of cheap, but his weapon is good.
It's with the huge.
The pretty
frog,
good
right?
ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good ones. Who are?
who are Blast Man, Block Man, and not Bounce Man.
Impact Man?
And no, Impact Man is in the great category.
Okay.
Is in the great category.
So.
And I'm just gonna think this. Alright. I gotta think this through for a minute.
Okay. Maybe talk about the great ones and then we'll come back to
Okay, so we'll get to the great ones, which are Impact Man, which are Impact Man, Acid Man, Fuse. It's another category altogether. So Impact Man and Acid Man, and then there are the masterful ones,
Oh.
which feature Fuse Man, Torch Man, and Tundra Man.
And? Wait,
Fuse Man, Torch Man, Tundra Man. So
Okay.
I've narrowed it down to about 8. One in the not so good category, two in the pretty good category, 2 in the great category, and 3 in the masterful category. But this game probably has the best weapons lineup of almost every Mega Man game.
Cool.
At worst, the weapons were like 6 out of 10. And all of them still had somewhat functionality. Like for example, with the pile driver, you can maneuver, which is why I picked Impact Man first.
Okay.
With Tundra Storm, you can freeze over the giant ice wall on Torch Man stage.
Okay, cool.
And then the power gears just add so much to the weapons, making them even cooler.
Awesome.
Like the power gear to the acid barrier, whenever you get hit, you also shoot some small projectiles at the boss. And you could already shoot projectiles, so it's even cooler that you get to shoot extra projectiles.
Okay.
Then there are the Wily stages. Now, they're essentially the same amount of challenge, but Wily Stage 1 is like essentially the same, but it got me stuck on for 3 days, so it feels a bit more unfair compared to the rest of the game. And then I finally finished it, and it was pretty good. Mega Man 11 is a resurface for the Mega Man franchise in one of the best ways. With a story that while not the best, doesn't need to be.
Okay.
Animation that is dazzling and vibrant. And gameplay that is pretty good for a Mega Man game.
Yeah.
If I had to recommend a mode to you, it would be casual. Because then you know just as much about the game. Because then you'll know enough about the game, but it will also not be too difficult. Because Newcomer removes you dying from bottomless pits, gives you spike immunity, and infinite lives, and I don't want to go the Newcomer route. Even though I did go it, and I beat the game like 2 times.
Yeah. It's not a challenge for you.
Yeah, Newcomer isn't a challenge for me.
Yes.
Overall, story 8 out of 10, animation 10 out of 10, gameplay 8 out of 10, overall 8.2 out of 10.
Good.
And now on to the bad one. Mega Man Fully Charged. Let's start with the story, shall we?
Okay.
So, the stories themselves don't have much in them, and you might just say, well, it's a cartoon. Cartoons are not supposed to be this etiquette you call movies. We're not supposed to be this etiquette to call movies or even TV shows. Welp, there are other cartoons like Gravity Falls and
Steven Universe.
and Adventure Time, which greatly have ongoing stories, and this one tries to have an ongoing story too,
But fails.
but fails. Most of the stories are just generic. Like, one bad guy does something bad, then Mega Man goes out to stop him. He goes out to stop him, stops him, then...
The end.
Yeah, the end.
Okay.
But one of the problems is the episodic focus. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this in other shows, but in this shows it presents some ideas that would actually work in other episodes, like in Tripping the Light Fantastic. For example, they mentioned the idea of Hypno Woman possibly marrying Dr. Light and her being stepmother. That would have actually been interesting, but they just glossed it over.
Why?
And then there's the whole thing with Mega Man changing personality whenever he gets the weapons, which is nice, but some of the later episodes, like for example ICE in case of emergency, focus on it for the entire episode. So while it is nice, it shouldn't be the focus of an entire episode.
I see what you're saying.
Then there's the comedy, which doesn't hit. A lot of it is just bland, and Mega Man tries to be this Liago type character and doesn't really work out too well. Then there are finally the action scenes. It would be nice if it weren't for the show's really, really bad animation. Actually, not really, really bad, just standard bad.
Yeah.
And speaking about that animation, let's talk about the animation.
Yes.
Because it's bad. Now, I'll give credit where credit is due. Some of the character designs, like on the some of the Robot Master designs, don't actually look too bad. They fit the Robot Masters they're supposed to represent. They're supposed to represent. And that's pretty much all they need to do. However, with some of the other human designs, with some of the human designs, as well as the robot design, as well as the other robot designs, yeah, they're pretty bad. It feels like their eyes were just stitched permanently on them. Or just put permanently on them, like googly eyes. Then there's the character animation, which, while nice in certain areas, like in the action scenes, the character expressions aren't really expressive enough. Then there are the times when it wants to go faster than usual. It sometimes works, but it sometimes also looks very, very fake.
I see.
It doesn't help either that the backgrounds are generic are very generic, with just a plain old city, base, a base, and then there's the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's
The effects, they're... sorry for making this a bit long, but it's just I need to get it all out of my system. The effects are also pretty bad. Like, they don't look too good on a computer animated screen. So the animation doesn't work either. And now, on to the characters. The main characters themselves are just generic, with Aculite being the main hero, Cinerlite being his sister, and also the sort of scientist character, Rush being the dog, Dr. Thomas being the father, and then there's Doc Breaker Sergeant Knight, who I actually agree upon with his views upon robots, so he's probably someone who I can sympathize with.
Okay, good.
But then there's this Mega Mini guy, which again is like Liago, but not nearly as good as Liago.
Wait, isn't he the same as Acolyte?
No, he's an Acolyte's head.
Oh,
Acolyte's head.
okay. I see.
The rest, then there are the main Robomasters, which, well, some of them are okay. Well, some of them don't leave much of an impact. Others are actually pretty well done. Like, Hypno Woman's performance was enough to sell me on the character. Woodman's interesting. Waveman clearly gives a lot of enthusiasm about what he does, and I like that. And then there's Elecman. From his character design, I thought he was going to be the coolest one there. But nope! He's probably the most annoying character I've seen on the show.
Oh gosh.
His main form of comedy is talking very fast, referencing pop culture, and hoping that being narcissistic is funny. It's not.
It's not.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
And the actor can also get on my nerves. Then there are the acting performances. Well, some of them do a fine job, like Drillman, Waveman's, and Fireman's. Others don't really leave that strong of an impact. Like, one member of the Good Guild just sounds a bit too high-pitched.
Okay.
One of the supporting characters sounds like a news reporter, which doesn't fit your persona. Bert Wiley can go into banana apple syndrome, because you don't know what that is. It's when the character sounds like he's going through puberty, and it's not very pleasant.
Okay.
And Sergeant Breaker Knight has a very bad southern accent, like really bad. To conclude, Mega Man Fully Charged I appreciate Mega Man Fully Charged as being an action show, but it's also not a good one.
Okay.
With its stories that could have had a lot more potential than they actually have. Animation that, while not the worst out there, is lacking. Characters that can range from dull to outright annoying.
Okay.
And voice acting that is pretty much on the same pedestal as the characters. The only reason why I decided to watch it is that I like Mega Man.
Yeah, really, really like Mega Man.
And I'm a big fan of his work. So I've decided to watch it because of that, and it's not worth your time.
Okay.
Iceman also sounds kind of off.
Why? I like Iceman. Not in the show, though. I didn't see it in the show.
Bye, guys!
Bye.